Hello, welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is the new streaming network.com, home of Going Solo and Going Bold, and of course our radio station, which is the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This show here today is Going Solo with Cece. I am your host, Cece Shatz. I am fondly called the Doyenne of Relationship Building. I'm a divorce, dating, and a life coach. And what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the holiday hustle, how to stay sane and celebrate with ease. And sometimes that's not so easy when you're alone and you're approaching this holiday, especially if it's your first time being alone. You start to feel a little bit overwhelmed, and all that you're seeing around you is totally different. And so that's the first thing we want to talk about. We want to talk about your mindset because as we get through anything, as we go through anything in life, it's really about our mindset. And so what we have to acknowledge is that things are different. Things are going to be different. But we're going to do something different this time. We're going to shake it up. We're quickly approaching Thanksgiving. Then we're going to move right on to the new year, right? Through to Christmas and whatever you celebrate, if you do Hanukkah or whatever. Then through to the new year. And so a lot of that makes us start to think about not only where we're at today, where we were before, right? Some of the holidays of the past. But we also think about holidays of the future. So that's where I want you guys to plant your feet. I want you to be steadfast in the holidays of the future because we're going to go and start creating a life for ourselves. Years ago when I got divorced, I thought it was the end of the world. And I managed to get through some of those times because of my family. I was steadfast with them. I was able to be with my son through most of the holidays. But some of that started to shift, and I found more and more I was being alone. My one son now, today, he is in Kentucky. He's going to be spending his first Thanksgiving by himself, which is going to be hard for him, I think, and hard for me because I've always had him with me for Thanksgiving. But I realized that things change. Nothing stays the same. And if it stays the same, how boring would that be, right? So let's talk a little bit about how we can propel ourselves forward into the future. So number one, we're gonna grab a hold of our mindset. We're going to start creating a life that we want now. And the best way to do that is really reframe your expectations of the future, right? Reframe what you think your holiday is going to be like. My days of making a big turkey dinner, having lots and lots of family over is totally different. Each one of my children now are doing something different. And it's amazing. They're living in different places and it's become really crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, what happened to those old fashioned holidays? Well, the reality is that they're only in my mind, right? They're only the way I'm framing that holiday to be. So what I did is like years ago, I created, on Meetup, if you go on meetup.com, and look in your neighborhood, in your area, and see if there's anything going on with any holiday celebrations that you could join. Because I had created years ago a Thanksgiving, don't be alone for Thanksgiving. And my very first Thanksgiving, I had 45 people attending for Thanksgiving. And I was like, wowed, right? We all pitched in together. A couple people, one of my friends donated a turkey. I bought a turkey, did a couple turkeys. We did a ham. A couple other friends donated some other things. Everybody brought a dish. Everybody brought whatever they want to drink. And we had the most fabulous time. And this has continued over the years. Now, one of my good friends is doing it this year at her home. And I want to thank her so much for doing that. But she's opened her doors and she's having, she called it like an adoption for for families or something like that for the holidays. So go and do something like that because you know what? This is the best time to get out when you're lonely. This is absolutely the best time because people give you grace, right? Because everybody is overwhelmed for the holidays. I don't know a single person that I've talked to that hasn't been overwhelmed for the holidays for one reason or another. right? Whether it be maybe finances, whether it be trying to get everything done in such a short period of time, just things being different for the holidays. So it's a great time to be able to get out, do something different, because a lot of people are feeling what you're feeling, maybe not lonely, but they're feeling things, and they give you grace as you're moving forward in it. So it's a great time to be able to kind of spread your wings a little bit, get out and meet some new people. So that's the first thing you want to do, is start reframing your mind. Start thinking about, what kind of holiday do you want to have? Do you want to have kind of more of a quiet holiday? Do you want to be with a lot of people? Do you want to do something for someone else during the holiday? And so you could start reframing, creating new traditions for yourself. Often we think we have to stick with the same thing. And it's funny because I hear my kids a lot of times talk about the different foods they like during the holidays. Not necessarily that we're getting together for the holidays. It's like what they want to eat for the holidays, because I have boys and of course they love their food. But the reality is we don't have to do all of that if we don't necessarily want to do that, right? So we can start reframing the holiday that we want. You can go to Publix, which is our local grocery store here, and you can get a whole turkey dinner if you want, or you can go to somebody else's house. So you can start thinking about how you want to create those holidays. If you have children, you want to start creating different traditions for them, so that way you can start incorporating those into your house. They may be one year with you, next year with your partner or your ex-partner. And so you want to be able to kind of work that kind of stuff out. And if you can do it with ease, then not necessarily that it is easy, right? Because holidays are not always easy, but if you can do the transition with ease, it creates a lot less tension for yourself. So that's what you want to do, is you want to start creating less tension. Do things for yourself that's going to make it a little bit easier for you. Do you have to make every single dish that's traditionally done for Thanksgiving? Nah, you don't have to do it. You don't really have to do that. You can do what you want to do. So maybe you want to pick out the favorite things that you like and have those things, because it creates joy, right? And so you want to be able to create joy for yourself as you're moving through the holidays. I would urge you to go and try to meet people, do some different things, especially at this time of the year when everyone's busy doing stuff. You could volunteer and do some different things for that. You can even do something for your neighbor, right? If you find that your neighbor's being in a rush doing different things, you could babysit the children. You could do different things. You could bake cookies for them. You could do some things that might make it a little bit easier for them during the holidays. So you just talk to them and find out what they're going through. And maybe you could take one of those, if you're like, for me, a little bit older, that type of thing. Maybe I could do one of those things that would make it easier for them during the holiday. So think out of the box a little bit. Do something a little bit that you haven't done before. So we want, again, to reframe our expectations. And then the other thing is share your time. And like I said, you want to create things that you can do that might help other people. You can go to your local animal shelter and help out there. You can donate clothing that you're not using anymore. You can participate in a gift drive. A lot of times there's, trees in the malls and things like that for children that want different objects and different things. You could buy lots of little things to give to some of the kids, or you could just do one big thing, like maybe a bicycle, right? A lot of those big items that children really do want, they don't get because they're so expensive. Maybe you could pick out one kind of little bit more expensive thing and donate that and give that to your thing. You can go to the assisted living homes and participate with them and do some various things like that. You could be sending them holiday cards. You can just go and visit and do different craft items with them and different things like that. You can donate things to them. One year I donated. My ex traveled a great deal. And so when he traveled, he used to bring back all those little soaps that you get in the hotel, right? And I used to save them and save them and save them. And I had tons of all that stuff, all different kinds of variety of different things. And so one year I thought, you know what, I'm going to donate these. So I donated them to our local living assisted area, in our area there. I took them and donated them. And they said that people absolutely love those items. The older people love those because there's a lot of things that they have to buy from themselves, and they live on fixed incomes. They don't really have the money for those things. So they love the idea of being able to have some of those small little soaps and shampoos and different things like that. And so you could just go out and buy a bunch of things like that and donate them. You could do some different things like that. So you want to, again, think out of the box. You want to give thanks. You want to help out other people and share your time with them as much as you possibly can. You want to be creative as you do things. Now, I do this myself. I've taken up a new hobby. I've been doing diamond art, and you can see it on our channel. I've purchased a lot of things from Temu and some various different things. I'm starting to share those things now. I've got a bunch of videos to put up, which I'm going to try to do that here the next couple days, get that up for you. And so that's what I do, is I try to, in order to take my mind off of business and work and things like that, I've taken up the hobby. And so maybe you could take up a hobby, do something different you haven't done before, be a little bit creative. And it's amazing when you do something like that, how it changes you, right? Because what you're doing is you're transferring your focus. You're transferring that focus of being lonely into doing something different. So you want to take up maybe a hobby or do something different that you haven't thought that maybe you want to do, and it'll bring you much, much joy in your life. And I've picked out a couple articles I'm taking some of this information from. So one from Psych Central. This is one article that I picked up, and I thought that was kind of interesting. Seek out connection. I think that is truly what the holidays is about, is truly connecting. And you can do it various different ways, right? You can call an old friend. If you've got some spare time now, you're off of work or whatever, and you're just there at home, and you find yourself being a little bit lonely, why don't you call a friend? Because guess what? They might be feeling the same thing you're feeling. Or it could be they have all this hustle bustle of family around, and they could use just a friend to talk to get away from all that kind of racket that's happening. The other thing is, if you play, let's say you play, some of the virtual games, like my boys, they play the games, my grandkids, and they get on some of the games that some of your family members play, right? And make it like an evening that you guys are going to gather together and you're going to do something like that. And you play the game together over online, or you could even do a Zoom, right? You could do a Zoom online. I think it's free for an hour, right? You could go on Zoom, you could get all your family members together, and you could play a game of cards or something like that, right? That would be a lot of fun to be able to play some sort of game online. You could come up with all kinds of different games that you can play. Really reaching out to your neighbors, understanding a lot of times we're so busy that we don't realize who our neighbors are. Maybe they're going through something too. So maybe reaching out to your neighbor, taking the time out to say hi, bring them cookies, bring them something. Maybe that would be a little bit different. Talk to your grocery store clerk. I was talking to the grocery store clerk last night, and listening to her and how she was telling me about how she was getting called in for extra work because people weren't showing up for work, and how strenuous that was for her. And I'm thinking to myself, my gosh, I'm going through the holiday time. I'm overwhelmed with all the things that I have to do. Can you imagine? She's working full time plus doing extra people's shifts because they're not showing up. So you can imagine what she went through. So we chatted for a bit, and I think it really did relieve her, to be able to just have somebody to talk to. So you want to be able to do that. Attend a local event. Get out and do some things that are in your neighborhood, in your area around. There's all kinds of different things happening for the holidays, and just get yourself out, right? Get yourself out off the sofa, out of thinking about yourself and what you're going through, and do something different. Set, in fresh air and doing things like that. It really makes a tremendous amount of difference. During the holidays, I think one of the best thing to do, if you've got some time alone, why don't you start setting some goals for yourself, where you see yourself next year, what you would like to do. If you have a business, what would you like to achieve in that? Why are you doing the business? Why are you doing the things that you do? So it's a great time to start setting some goals. And I did years ago, you can look it up, but I did a goal setting show, and it was really, I think, one of the best shows I've done. And we talked there about doing, our goal setting and our personal goals, right? We have our personal goals, we have our business goals, we have our spiritual goals that we want to do. We have maybe some travel, entertainment goals that we'd like to achieve, maybe some family goals that we would like to do. You can break it down into all kinds of different segments and create a whole new spreadsheet for yourself of your whole new year of what you want to accomplish. And you might look at that and say, you know what, I got a great year planned for me now because I'm going to start doing some of these things. I'm going to start getting out, traveling, doing some things local in my neighborhood. I'm from Florida. All you have to do is grab a map, right? Look at Florida and see all the places you haven't visited before and say, you know what? I want to start doing some little weekend trips. And you can just get in the car, drive, stay in a hotel overnight, whatever. Or if you want to go visit someplace, let's say you want to start traveling, take an area. Do what you do is you get the map, right? You see that it's what area is 2 hours, maybe 2 hours away, 3 hours away, and draw a circle from that where that is, so all the way around where you're located, all the way around. You can take a pencil with old fashioned, with a piece of string on it, and draw it around so you have a circle, and that's going to take you 2-3 hours of driving, right? So it's going to like 2 hours there, 2 hours back. That's 4 hours. You could go somewhere, have lunch somewhere, do something fun, but there's all these different places that you could visit that's only just a couple hours away. I mean, that would be awesome. And that's just in your local area. I always get funny looks, when people say, "Where are you from?" And I say, "Oh, I'm just from right down the road. I'm from wherever, well, I'm from Clearwater, Tampa area." And so people are always amazed that, that we're visiting different places. But why not? We've got the best places in our backyard. And I know you have your best places in your backyard. So why don't you start setting some goals for yourself to do some different things and to be able to start experiencing life a little bit more. The other thing is, I think that as we are approaching the holidays, it really is important to treat yourself, right? Do something for yourself that maybe no one else would ever do for you. And really understand that, you know what? Your best friend is you, right? Your best friend is yourself. So why not treat yourself? Enjoy things. I mean, my favorite place is Dairy Queen, right? I love to go to Dairy Queen. I absolutely love, and I will tell you that I love the chocolate ice cream banana split. That's my favorite blizzard. And I love that. You can go to Dairy Queen and just treat yourself if you want. You can do a lot of different things. You can just do anything that makes you happy. And that's the thing, is sometimes we forget we're in the hustle bustle of life and we forget about what makes us happy. And so you want to spend time doing things for yourself that make you happy. Spending time with loved ones, spending time with people that you enjoy spending time with, right? And treat yourself to different things. If you like to go shopping, but limit yourself on a budget because, it goes a little bit crazy. But it's a great time to go shopping. There's a lot of good deals out there. And then, as we're moving forward, we want to feel our feelings, right? So often we think to ourselves, we need to move fast, we need to go forward. Well, sure, yeah, we need to do that. But often we feel things that we need to really acknowledge. And so as we're moving forward in the holiday season, it's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's what you do about those feelings that makes the difference, right? So if you want to be hunker down, stay home, watch movies, eat Dairy Queen or whatever it is that you want to eat, ice cream, you do it if that's what makes you happy, if that really makes you feel good. But if it doesn't make you feel good, then you need to do the opposite of that. And so you need to acknowledge where you're feeling, acknowledge how you're feeling, but then it's what you do with that makes a difference. So just remember that. So it's okay to feel what you're feeling, But you do want to definitely release that and let that go. And the best way to release that sometimes is talking with a friend, sharing it with other people. But if you need to seek help, please seek help. Give a call to your therapist or someone that can definitely help you, your clergy, or someone that you can definitely talk to. So definitely seek help if you're feeling really down, depressed this holiday season. You want to make sure that you are doing what's right for you. Absolutely what's right for you. Now we're going to move on to our other article, if I can talk today. And I do apologize because I had a flu shot yesterday, so I'm not feeling the best of best, which one thing I'd like to know is like, why do doctors always tell you you're not going to feel bad? No, flu shots don't make you feel bad. Well, let me tell you, they do make you feel kind of yucky, but it's better than getting full blown flu, and I certainly don't want to do that. So let's move on to the next article. So the first article we talked about, it was in Psych Central, and I'm going to give you the name of that. So it's a good article, and so if you definitely want to look at that, it's Spending the Holidays Alone, 8 Coping Strategies, and that is done by Lori Lawrence, I believe, and well, it's medically reviewed by her, and it's Sandra, who has actually written the article. So just check that out. The next article I found, which I thought was kind of intriguing, it's Your Guide to Being Single During the Holidays and Loving It. And that is done by Miss Career Girl herself. And that is featured on Miss Career Girl. But listen, guys, we know that we can learn a lot from women. So we definitely want to be able to take her advice because I think it's some great advice. Number one, she says, don't wait for invites. And I love that because we sit around and we think, okay, our lives are going to change, but how are we going to change it, right? So don't wait for an invite. Get up, get out, do stuff, right? Maybe even host something on your own. Now is a great time. If you're feeling a little down in the dumps, why don't you have some friends over? You can make some appetizers. You can buy stuff at Publix that's already pretty much made. You get a few drinks. You get together, and you could do a gift exchange. You could have an ugly Christmas sweater contest. You could do all kinds of stuff that would be able to allow you to be able to get together. And again, she mentions here, which I also highly recommend, meetup.com. That's meetup.com. Go to meetup.com in your local area and see what's happening there. I suggest joining, 2 or 3 different groups that you might want to participate in. Some of them have very low, most of the time, annual fees, $5, $10, $20, maybe at the very most. And you join, and that kind of helps the organizer cover some of the expenses for the actual meetup group. And so anyhow, so you join that, and then they have various different things that get you out of the house. I tell you what, it's the best thing that I ever did. When I got a divorce, and I've told this story many times, I would go with my daughter every weekend and we'd do stuff, and I loved it. We had great time, with my granddaughters. I had a lot of fun. And finally my daughter said to me, Mom, you got to get a life, right? You got to get a life. I can't be with you every weekend. You got to learn to do things on your own. And I'm thinking like, what's she talking about? This is a lot of fun. I'm having a great time. Well, the reality is she needed to have her own life. And so I needed to start learning how to build my life. And I did that through a lot of great friends that I met on Meetup. I am on meetup.com, and I have a couple great groups on there. We have a travel group. We do a lot of wonderful little weekend travels. We do abroad travels, a lot of different things. So you're welcome to join that. You don't necessarily have to live in the area because we travel different places. That's called Going Solo Travelers. And if you want the link for it, you can just email me at goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. I'll send you the link, and you're welcome to join it. And then I also have a Singles Want to Meet, right? It's 40 through 60s, and that's where we're having our our Thanksgiving dinner and stuff like that. And I do have the divorce support group there, which we've been kind of in limbo, which I'm hoping in 2025 we're going to kick that back up again and help individuals as they move through their divorce, but also reshaping and establishing their single lives, because I think as we move through, that is very, very important. So number one, Don't wait for invites. Make invites happen. Do things for yourself. Be able to get out, right? And bring a backup. A lot of times when I first started going to some of the events on Meetup, I didn't really want to go by myself. So I went by myself and I met a couple really great gals, right? And we got to be really good friends. And so we started, backing each other up when we went to go do stuff, especially when we did single events, right? A lot of times we'll do to be easy on myself. I joined, you join some ladies groups. If you're a lady, you join some ladies group. Guys, you guys handle things a little bit different than what we do, but you could join, a guys group or things like that. I would join interest related groups. Like for instance, if you enjoy kayaking and things like that, join a kayak group, right? There's ladies that enjoy doing that kind of thing. And then you can meet people that way and you can broaden out. So join a group that is interest related to you, something that you enjoy doing, that you have a lot of fun with. And then you'll meet people with the same interests, other like-minded people. That's what you want in your life, other like-minded people, people that are like you, who are going through some of the experiences that you're going through, who can relate to you, who are relatability, that you can be able to talk to on some of the things that you're doing. You can get a couple really close friends and then you can broaden from there. So I made a couple really good friends and we used to piggyback from each other, right? We go to different events and it helped me being able to go to events by myself. Now I can go into an event without any trouble at all because I generally know somebody that's there because I've met a lot of people on a lot of the events that I went to. And even if I don't, I understand that they're all in the same boat that I'm in. So they feel like I feel. So they're usually okay with it. A lot of times too, the organizers of those particular groups know what you're going through. So they help you be able to make your way in there. So if a new member comes, they know you're a new member, they introduce you to other people, they help you be able to kind of get involved in it a little bit more. So that's a great way to meet people. Now we talked about do good, do something for somebody else. Step away from yourself. That's always the best way to heal. If you are suffering from anything, you move out of yourself a little bit and help someone else, and it makes you feel so good along the way. I like this when she says, expect the expected, right? So often when we go to different events and we do different stuff, we're thinking like, oh man, this might be bad. Well, yeah, it might be bad, right? So let's go ahead and anticipate that. Let's go ahead and expect that. So we're going to go to a holiday and we know the people are going to maybe talk about us because we're, now just freshly divorced or we've lost our spouse or we've done something like that. We know people are going to talk. So expect it, right? Have your conversation with yourself about that so that you can easily have a conversation with somebody else about it. You don't have to give them your business. You can just, come up with a couple little replies and then move on. If she had said here, oh, I'm happily married to my career or something like that. I'm happy in my life right now. I'm happy in my life right now. That'll shut anybody up, won't it? And so you can say things like that. So, be prepared and then change the subject, right? Be prepared. Have your comeback and you know your family. You know what they're going to ask you. You know what they're going to say to you, right? So be prepared. Say what you're going to say quickly and move on and change the subject and get off of it. And the best way to change the subject is start talking about somebody else, right? Not meaning talking about like the person down the street or something bad or gossip. I mean, point the conversation back on them. Well, tell me about you. What have you been up to? How is such and such? And, how is your work going? And turn the conversation back on them. So, and then it gets it off of you and you're not highlighted. They're highlighted. And people like to talk about themselves. So that is a perfect way to be able to not only get to know the person that you're talking to a little bit further, what's going on in their life, but get them off of what's happening with you and moving right on with that. And I think we covered everything on those particular things. So I think we kind of got it covered. But I just wanted to let you know that during the holiday time, it can be very, very tender-footed, right? It can be very difficult to do. But once you do one holiday, each holiday, right? Once you get through Thanksgiving, and once you get through, if you're Hanukkah, or once you get through Christmas, or once you get through New Year's, once you get through your birthday, once you get through everything for the first time, it becomes easier, right? Easier and easier and easier. So you just want to keep moving through at the pace that you need to move through and allow yourself to feel what you need to feel. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk just a little bit more, and then I'm going to let you go on and have your great holiday. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And you guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. I am Cece Shatz. I'm fondly called the Doyenne of Relationship Building. I am a divorce, dating, and a life coach. If you ever need to talk to me, please feel free to call me or talk to me. I don't have my phone number up because then everybody calls me. We get the weird calls, but I'll give you my email. Just email me and then I can give you a call. My email is goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. And I would love to be able to help you. I just want to make sure everybody gets through this holiday or any time with ease. And so we want you to be able to do that. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, newsstreamingnetwork.com, home of Going Solo and Going Bold. And we're going to be right back. Well, welcome back. This is WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. I am Cece Shatz, fondly called the Doyenne of Relationship Building. I am a divorce, dating, and a life coach. This is the newsstreamingnetwork.com, home of Going Solo and Going Bold. We want to thank you so much for joining us here today on Going Solo with Cece. We're talking about holiday hustle, how to stay sane and celebrate with ease. It is a difficult time, holiday, especially you know what? Sometimes it doesn't even matter how many you've went through. Sometimes they are challenging, even for people that are not lonely, right? So, holidays are just that way, but they also can be a very joyous time. It can be a time where we can actually connect with other people, especially people we haven't connected with in a long time. So what we want to do is we want to create the mindset. We started the show talking about our mindset, and I'd like to end with our mindset because it is our mindset that makes a difference for us. So if we want to have a joyous holiday, we have to choose to have one, right? Happiness is a choice. It's something that we choose. And also, if we want someone in our lives, it's something that we have to choose to do. We have to be open to that, right? As we're moving forward. And it's a great time for those of you that are out thinking about going out there and dating. It's a wonderful time to meet people, to really allow yourself to be open to new experiences. I have a good friend and I used to tell her all the time, you're not going to meet somebody sitting home, right? You're not going to meet somebody sitting home. And she told me one time, she said, well, I'm just going to be here and when it happens, it will just happen. Well, lo and behold, it did, right? She just went out to dinner with family and she met somebody. So the reality is that you can too. If you're in that place in your life, you're single, you're ready to get out. They say single, ready to mingle, right? If you're feeling like that, then do it, right? Get out and meet people and do different things and be open, right? It's your attitude that makes a world of difference. Who wants to be with somebody that's negative? No one. No one does. Who wants to be with somebody that wants to live in their past? And we all struggle with that. Even myself, sometimes I struggle with, things that have happened to me in my past, right? And as I move forward in life, I've got to keep remembering, and I want to share with you, is to put yourself out there to new experiences, something fresh and something that's different, right? And allow yourself the opportunity to be able to experience something totally different, right? And embrace it. And so often we want to live in our past. We want to say, well, this is the way it was. Well, the reality is it's not the way it is, nor is it the way it's going to be in the future. And so the more we can allow ourselves to adapt to change, to create that shift in our lives, the more peaceful and at ease we will be, right? So everyone take a deep breath, let it out, and enjoy your life as you move forward. I hope that you guys enjoyed the show here today. If you guys want to reach me, and I hope you do, because I love to get your emails. I answer them all myself personally. You just email me at goingsolonetwork@gmail.com and share with me what's going on in your life. If you need some help with something, if there's something that you're experiencing that you want to share, if you want to be a guest on the show, I'd love to have you, right? And if you need some professional help, let me know. You can email me and let me know what's going on. And if I can't help you, I certainly will direct you. You can go to our goingsolodirectory.com. We have wonderful professionals that are on there that are more than happy to help you. Most of them give free consultations, so you can give them a call and chat with them. You're welcome to do that. I hope that you will join me on the Going Solo Network, goingsolonetwork.com. That's where I have a lot of my groups that are on there. I hope that you will join them. If there's something that you want to join in your particular area, I hope that you do that. I encourage you to meet people and be open. But most of all, be safe this holiday season and any time in your life. Use your brain as you're moving forward in dating. Use your gut. If you don't feel like something's right, don't do it. Take precautions, ladies, if you're moving forward in dating, making sure that you are doing everything that you need to do. If you need a backup, get a girlfriend to go with you and do some things with. That way you're not doing them alone. Guys, be patient and understanding with the women out there. Women, be patient and understanding with the men out there as they're moving forward in their lives. We don't come with a handbook. We don't have a manual of how to live our lives, right? We just try to do the best we can. So let's show some grace this holiday season. Let's be thankful for what we have and what we're going to have in the future. And I wish you all the very, very best as you move forward in this Thanksgiving, holiday, Christmas, New Year's, all of that. I'll be back on probably talking about some things, as we move forward. One of my favorite shows is helping you in the new year. So look forward to that show. And I'm going to do another show about the goal setting, because I found goal setting helped me in my life. And so I want to share a little bit more of that with you. And as you move forward in your life, we all need a little bit of help with that. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will broadcast this show again on Thanksgiving Day. So I hope that when you're listening to it on Thanksgiving, you'll think about yourself, your life, and what you want happen in the future. Really start embracing everything, but start creating joy, walking forward in your life in a new, wonderful experience. I am Cece Shatz. I am the Doyenne of Relationship Building. I'm a divorce, dating, and life coach. If you need some help along the way, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach me at goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. You can find my website at goingsolonetwork.com. I am the founder of the new streaming network, which is home of Going Solo and Going Bold, and our radio station, WGSN WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. I want to thank you so much for joining us, being with us here this year and every year as we have really kind of trudge forward, right, in this new life that we have being single, and hopefully, maybe possibly with a new partner in our lives. We want that to happen for each one of you. And if you can define the relationship that you want, and we'll talk more about that in the future. So I love you all. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.